So let's see if Blackout can now fully focus his firepower on taking out that spaced armor of Przyjem. And Przyjem has to figure out how to get around that thick armor and buy time.
I think Blackout needs to find a way to keep his damage more spread out, because there was a good focus on that one reactor, and that's what caused it. Other than that, everything was looking pretty fine.
And it looks like Blackout gets the first shots off, but some of his missiles are actually not going in the direction of the enemy. Same thing with Przyjem, but both end up making contact.
Przyjem has made the better with the first contact, and is evidently targeting the left reactor.
If you pay attention to the way some of their missile shots go, they actually go in a near perfectly straight line, which can allow for better hollowing and chipping away of the armor, as shown just for Przyjem, as he's losing some of his frontal armor.
I wonder how easily Blackout could win this by focusing on spreading out damage more than dealing damage, and then going in for the kill after ammo runs out.
This is not looking good for Przyjem at the moment. Right now he has two massive chunks in his armor, so he's going to have to be careful that they don't go any further than that. And in the meantime, Blackout's shields are coming in handy, as they're able to quickly regenerate and be capable of soaking up more damage from those missiles. And now there's a clear hole straight to the shields from Przyjem. So let's see if Blackout can capitalize on that.
And look at that lineup coming in.
The shields are taking
Almost
damage.
broke through.
Uh-oh, here comes another line of missiles. Will they break through? Oh, just barely. That's the
They hit
shields just
separate
out.
spot. That could have been a very dangerous hit if they all landed in the same place. Also to note is the chunks of armor are actually blocking shields.
That's
which could be
true.
problematic. Both of the shields came down on the right side, but just barely they got back up in time before anything serious could happen.
Unfortunately, they're being blocked by that armor, as you said earlier. So it's going to be so it's putting Przyjem in more of a compromising situation for what he'll have to do next. In a sense, his left side is slightly compromised in terms of defensive capabilities for a brief moment, anyways, until those shields get back up.
Oh, there's some missiles coming up from behind, and they don't deal any significant damage. That could have been very dangerous.
I'm barely able to avoid those missiles. But now that they're coming around, let's see how well he does against them.
And they all go into an asteroid. Seems like Przyjem's on the run there.
True. He knows that the vast majority of his armor has been shredded, and that two of his shields aren't fully are far being blocked. So he'll have to be extremely careful with any more direct-on engagements.
It's definitely one of the close battles.
Agreed. A close one indeed.
Oh, he spun to swing out the pieces of armor so they're no longer blocking his shield.
That is pretty clever.
That is a genius move. Now his shields are actually working, and they're no longer blocked. That's one issue with large shields, is they can be blocked by loose pieces of armor.
It looks like Przyjem is focusing on closing the distance now that his shields are up to full strength.
It seems like both of them are shooting the asteroid. Or actually, yep, one just shot off in the distance.
Looks like both Blackout and Przyjem are going to meet around the asteroid. They're getting into range. See,
well, Blackout's faced the wrong direction. Seems like Przyjem's going to get the better of that encounter.
True. He's able to keep his distance.
Very good volleys. Has exposed some shield modules on Blackout.
You also take that chunk of the armor, too. Every little bit of damage you can do helps in the long run. At the moment, it's just buying time.
I think Blackout needs to take this slow and try spreading out that damage with his shields a little more. Because right now he's taking a lot of hits and not landing very much because he's doing the chasing.
Uh-oh, now he has a clear hole to one of Blackout's engines, so he'll have to be kind of careful not to compromise his capabilities for moving.
Yeah, Percy Jim keeps getting these good shots and then ducking behind an asteroid.
True. He's able to keep his distance quite well. Just a battle of attrition now.
There's two good volleys coming in from the right side of Blackout. One gets
both
stuck on an asteroid.
However, they're running quite. However, Percy Jim is actually running quite low on ammunition, so he'll have to be extremely careful for what he does next. Those shots he has will have to make them count. Otherwise,
Blackout's got some good shots chasing after Percy Jim.
Agreed.
Right? It kind of missed.
That
was a very close call, though.
If you take a look closer at Percy Jim's ship, some of his factories don't have sufficient resources to keep up or keep producing new parts. Let's see if Blackout notices and capitalizes on this.
It seems like he's on his last, maybe 10 volleys at most. That could very easily decide this. But Blackout gets stuck on an asteroid with missiles behind him.
But it looks like Blackout was able to turn in time, while Percy Jim not getting the best of that exchange, losing a missile module. And part of one, too.
Oh, and another. He's with 3 missile modules and almost no ammo between them. That is, 2, 3. He's only got 3 operating factories left. That seems like it's going to go 1-1, unless there somehow has a miracle.
But in looking at Blackout, he has more than enough ammunition in his launchers and storage systems to be able to clean up this job quite well. Assuming he plays his cards right.
Seems like he brought like 50% more ammo or something, and that made the difference. Unless Percy Jim can keep dodging around and make this a ram battle at the end with the zone.
In this battle attrition, more ammunition for those launchers is definitely going to be coming in handy for Blackout. Now Percy Jim is on the run. Meanwhile, as the Ring of Death circle is shrinking, he'll have to do something crafty to make it a win.
Oh yeah, he only has like 20-ish missiles left. That is not looking good. Actually, more than that. There was one factory still operating too.
Yeah, Percy Jim is on the run from those missiles coming in from behind and on the front too. He's being boxed in. And there goes Launcher.
This is not looking good. He almost came... He got pretty close to damaging a reactor. In fact, wait a minute. Yeah, he damaged the shield next to a reactor, but running out of ammo seems to have done him in.
Agreed. His shield defenses can only hold out for so long.
Lost all the armor in 1/2, and all the shields are down right now.
Oh, he just lost an entire missile launcher
and
segment.
That should be... Ooh, that somehow did not end it.
Uh-oh, he only has the 1 shield left. His defenses are as good as compromised. And...
There we go. That should be...
Oh, nope,
that
he's on his last legs. His last rights.
Last? Somehow not ending it yet?
He's now... Oh, never mind. He just forfeited. He has to play this carefully. He can't let that last match discourage him. And look at Blackout. No hesitation. He's going right in for Percy Jim.
I think it's an interesting note that because of how the ship is built, as Percy Jim takes more damage, he loses more armor and moves faster. Whereas Blackout is not as well afforded that because he uses armor to a higher extent and is better protected by his...
That is very much true. And it looks like Percy Jim has gotten some good volleys off, chipping away the front section of the armor. However, if you pay attention to Percy Jim, that spaced armor is doing him too many favors, as Blackout is also able to get some good damage off.
Already a hole in the armor that's almost all the way through on Percy Jim.
It looks like a lot of missile. It looks like a lot of. He's taking a lot of damage on his right side though. He'll have to quickly regenerate those shields if he doesn't want to lose his right reactor.
That is going to be very problematic. That could decide this because of how the ship is designed. It go once one reactor goes, the entire thing goes, and that's there we go.
And that's a win. Just
We got the nuke, and we call it the reactor stick, which is a suicide ship that attempts to use the damage from a reactor blowing up to destroy the enemy ship. It looks like it's going to ram straight in with an attempt to damage. And look at that damage. Already taking out the main guns on Toggled.
Yes, Toggled is very destroyed by that. Unfortunately, both players seem to have set their rails to fire at target, or fire at will instead of fire at target. Misfire their first shots. You know, Shade since fixes it and just...
Gameknight does have quite a few exposed engines, so he does have a weakness there, but I think he's going to be able to get around Ultra because Ultra's missiles are hitting their own... Oop, I dropped my microphone, excuse me. But Ultra's missiles, because of how sharply Ultra has to turn, are hitting it.
Gameknight is now focusing on the rear, and he's locked himself right in. Now he's gonna just burn through the engines and tear him asunder.
The way it locks in is impressive. That's a nicely built ion ship.
Oh, barely. Oh, never mind. He's adjusting his prisms to destroy the bridge, and there goes the reactor and the bridge.
There is just the one bridge at the very end left.
Meantime,
wow. That is an upset.
As per conventional usage of these missile ships, these stored missile ships, you only need to technically have a living ship. So most of the time they have a control room on the tip of it that Gameknight very much missed here. And because of it, you can just have the ship have the back end die, but you still win because the missiles kill your opponent. Actually, a very clever usage of the lights was to obscure it at the very front.
Oh! I didn't realize that. That is genius.
Yes, this was a tactic that was expected. It was found out with the release of lights, but I didn't expect it to actually be effective.
Yeah, it's just the one elbow of structure is all you need.
Yeah.
And
Gameknight win.
There it goes. Corner, right?
And up to 4 forfeit. Congratulations, Gameknight, on the victory.
I was surprisingly not using his regular wall, but is using a ion ring with nuke.
And in the meantime, we're looking at Blaze. He has two ships, a deck cannon rammer with a hyperdrive beacon, and a similar ship to what we saw from similar ship we saw in the few first rounds with Blaze, as a large nuke wall. Let's see how he uses that.
Yes, with a much larger focus on the nuke wall this time. Before it was 1.2 million curie. This time the nuke wall is 750. Also is fast enough to confirm that the nukes will always be. The warping.
Oh, Blaze has taken some slight engine damage.
So,
And here come the vast degree of nukes. Let's see what Kawa Beach can avoid this precarious situation.
Kawa spreads damage super well and does not take any damage.
It may have torn a large hole through Kawa's left side armor. But it looks like but since Blaze's ship has run out of nukes, Kawa can now dictate the pace of the battle as he has enough frontal armor and shields to polish Blaze off.
Blaze isn't even shooting his guns right now, which is a questionable decision.
There's no point, they can't break through those shields.
He's firing now, but
If we got around the side to that exposed reactor, kind of like there's a small gap around the large shields in the exposed reactor. There's a potential to
Alright.
do something there.
the rammer has been destroyed. Now it's Hope and Blaze yields. Kawa takes the first win.
Random deck cannon shot very nearly took out Kawa's reactor. Was in the process of doing so. So Kawa, knowing this, is probably going to be hiding, trying to play defensively as possible, because once it's dead, he wins. But as long as it's alive, he has a chance of instantly losing.
And it looks like he's taking his time to directly attack his Blaze's nuke wall. While in the meantime, Blaze with his rammer is trying to head around and see what he can do about this.
They're driving that nuke wall sooner or later. Stop it from going off like a chain.
Boosters have been activated. He's caught right on the side and deploying the nukes.
Oh, there. He dodged.
Fortunately, even worse than the previous shot. With nukes, you want to line them up and not shoot from point-blank range, because that means they just scatter across the entire opponent's front.
I think is no matter what, Kawa is fast and skilled enough to probably dodge it.
Likely, if you were to position the nuke wall to launch them all in front of him so that he runs into them, might go better. But unfortunately, he's not capable of 750 deck cannon wall is probably not going to beat 1.5 mil orbiter. Nice. Much for Kawa.
Yeah, some of Blaze's engines have been compromised. Oh, he's turning to show more of his sides, and looks like Kawa's taking his time to capitalize and burrow through his side armor. He may not have held the pin for long, but the damage is enough to prevent those engine rooms from taking more batteries from the reactor itself, which is going to compromise the deck cannon rammer's total speed.
I think this is largely it for Blaze.
Yeah.
That's just... There's no way really out of that. All of his engines don't have power anymore because the corridors get destroyed from the inside. So he only off, really.
Is a very good use of the hyperdrive, I would say, though. In the most... That ship is scary, even if it wasn't super successful in these rounds. Having played against it myself.
Yeah, in the meantime, Kawa is now taking his time to burrow away at the armor, as those 5 deck cannons at the moment may not be enough to penetrate the shielding of Kawa's ion rammer.
And
there it goes.
Well, there's still a nuke thing sitting in the corner.
Unfortunately, it can't do much because there's no ammo, and that's a forfeit. Kawa is taking the victory. Congratulations.
See what we got. For Slowking, we bring a nuke kiter, no, we can not kiter, what do you call it?
Orbiter.
Orbiter.
Play ultra light as well, which means very little armor maximize.
Goes like 160 meters a second versus more typical orbiter.
Yeah. And if you look closely, Slowking may not have armor to protect on the front, but does have a lot of point defense and shield systems, which should help him out against Nick's missile arrays.
Yes, point defense is a problem, especially when Nick relatively low amount, especially when they're all hitting the ship.
If we look at Slowking, he's also a lot faster than Nick, so he'll be able to get himself into a proper priming position to take advantage of those nukes he has.
Slowking very nearly runs into a nuke in the forward reactor.
But that line of nukes is going to be problematic. They'll be able to rip right through the armor and knock out all those shields, yet they're not down yet. They haven't been destroyed.
Oh,
Trying to hit more nukes.
Oh my.
Yeah, that is a quick and smart play.
Yes, Slowking, well renowned for his piloting, uses the momentum of his ships to throw the nukes into the gap. Nick, turning off his shields in a panic, probably lost control of his ship there, and is probably going to be eating more nukes soon.
That should be just about game. I love Slowking's use of the rotation.
Yes.
Same. He's just enough ammo to finish the job.
That's a real good pairing with an ultralight nuke ship.
Slowking definitely has a very strong ship here, and though unconventional, because it's been rarely seen, is very clearly super effective.
And that nuke barrage has ripped through a large chunk of Nick's armor.
Yeah,
Nick is not in the best.
the next slinging of nukes that Slowking's gonna do is gonna have this huge gap to hit into once he can line up the shot properly.
And using the momentum to throw the nukes once again. Well
All
played,
angles.
Slowking.
It makes him almost impossible to dodge because there's a nuke from every direction.
Meanwhile, the point defense is doing its job.
There's a
against,
hole in the front of Slowking. That could have gone much worse. Thankfully, the hole missed his reactor. But he ran into some nukes head on.
And a chunk of the glass fortress has also been caught on Slowking's ship, which is preventing one of his shields from actually going up. Actually, 2 shields.
Due to
That-
Slowking's speed and the point defense and shields, the heat missiles are probably not ever going to be a problem for, fortunately for Nick.
Yeah, aside from that lucky hit earlier, it doesn't seem like...
I'm pretty sure that was
We're
because
gonna-
of a nuke as well.
Yeah, that was a bunch of nukes that got...
GG Slowking.
Slowking ran into.
Yeah, but Slowking...
Would not want rotating as much in the fight because that burns a lot of his explosive missiles. Slowking, failing to remember that the main issue with nukes is that they can't aim against mobile targets if you don't position them, so they all miss.
Yeah. In the meantime, that point defense just wallows away on Nick's high explosive missiles. Only doing the job quite well, actually. Even at close range. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh,
Straight to the reactor.
Slowking cuts off all the resupply of his missiles and destroys 3 of the 4 modules. Nick is largely defanged, I would say.
And ready for a toss.
Another brutal toss into the frontal armor.
Fortunately, doesn't do much. Slowking just scrapes his armor a little bit.
Alright, looks like pretty much nearly every missile module is gone except for a trio of nukes on the rear, which Slowking can quite adeptly handle without problems. And he'll just burrow slowstraight into the glass fortress's rear and polish up this mess.
Seems like there were no lucky nukes today from Nick.
Slowking doesn't even need to worry about dodging or anything, polish anymore, and just slowly tear his opponent apart with point defense.
Yeah, he can take his time with this battle.
Even once the nukes reload, if they were possible, bounce off the shields.
Potentially damage their own ship if Slowking was ramming close enough. Yeah, they destroyed the launchers, destroyed themselves.
Just do a little bit of damage to Slowking, but nothing relevant. Nick is
True.
no longer with weapons.
No fangs left. GG.
Because a problem was the deck cannons kept like reaching beyond the shields, going around. There shouldn't be a problem here.
Even with the armor, Plaus can still keep a pretty good speed. He's breaking 100 already with his thrusters.
If he can get better shots off on... That was the main issue, I would say, is that he didn't line up any of his shots, and they didn't... That is, if they didn't, unfortunately...
He could wear down the EMPs first before he makes contact.
But if you stall, then you start getting a disadvantage because the ring benefits the game so much more.
Oh, this is not going to be good for him.
Oof.
He
Oof.
gets lost. Oh, wow. Just ripping right through a good portion of his ship there.
But the
He's already at a very disadvantaged position with only around 1/3 of his strength left. That's...
Yeah.
That was not...
50% of his thrusters left over. In the meantime, Z James has come out of that exchange mostly unharmed. Just some armor damage, really.
Unfortunately, a single mistake is brutal in its punishment.
I think he might have forgot about those nukes on the side.
Yeah. They were deadly as a first strike capability.
I think because they had so little impact in the first round, he probably forgot about them and just went for it.
James disconnects the front bits of his armor to try to gain some more speed and catch up to the the remnants of Plaus's ship.
He doesn't really need to worry about taking damage anymore. 4 nuke launches remain.
Yeah. He got enough armor on him right now to just bite. Just wait as long as he needs to.
He'd probably tell his ship to rotate towards Plaus and go get a sandwich too.
Looks like his own armor that Plaus is using actually did save himself a little bit, but let's see how long that lasts. Because now he's caught on his own armor. Uh-oh. Oh, but his armor takes it. Okay. In the meantime, Plaus is still trying to keep his distance and fire off whatever nukes he can. Unfortunately, he doesn't have much firepower to work with here.
Oof.
And that's a win for James. GG.
That is it.
Good game. James.
They're both not high on storage, so it is, I guess, technically possible if you have a very tanky ship to just outlive them.
Yes. I mean, ideally, you want to kill your opponent rather than stall, though, because stalling will leave you damaged, whereas they will continue to just be full health as they try and kill you. It is a solution, but it's not one I think that either of them are intent on.
Also very unreliable in tournaments because then you encounter someone that isn't low ammo and you're just gonna lose.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they have about the same ammo. No, hold up.
Crazy Gem is doing a good job with his positioning, like the last round, where he has gotten 3 volleys off, whereas Anthraax is only getting a portion of 1. Clearly, he has practiced, experienced with this ship of his. Missiles do make their way to behind him. Instantly
Lost 2.
Instantly proving wrong what I said, losing a third of his firepower, potentially more if the fire doesn't go. Here's fire extinguishers at the very least. But that is a huge blow. Anthraax definitely has the advantage now.
He also lost another missile module because it got cut off due to a corridor getting destroyed.
It is unfortunate. Might be able to hotfix it if he's not too busy and good at it, but I don't expect it to happen.
Well, he can't because there's just no space for the door. You can't build a door, so
Oh, okay.
it's a structure now.
Yeah.
The fire got out of hand. Some lovely holes in the front of Anthraax, but I have a feeling because of that firepower difference, you're gonna see Anthraax take this one.
Yeah, not only is the firepower like a huge problem for obvious reasons, it's like it's even worse because of the large shields where you need that burst to break through them. Unfortunately, Crazy Gem is just like denied them.
Anthraax getting some good missile lines.
Unless Crazy Gem just goes through the side and directly damages the control room. Shields aren't an issue if you go around them. Oof.
That control room is at what? 2/3 health now.
Very good line of missiles from Anthraax. One of the shield breaking through. Gem's front looking a lot worse for wear. Both of them, really. Missiles are destroyed on the rock. That's always in.
Anthraax lost the shield, but it doesn't look like it'll matter too much.
Didn't even lose it. It just turned off for. Because of their proximity to the reactor, that isn't really a problem.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Oh, that is. Does he have
Oof, he
Yep.
got both control rooms.
snipe both of them back to
Nicely
back?
done. Nicely done, Percy Gem.
I think Gameknight probably has the I think Gameknight has the superior speed over Kawa.
Counting their ions real quick, there's 20 for Kawa, and
16 for Gameknight.
yeah, 16 for Gameknight. But Gameknight has much more efficient damage, I would say, because of the number of prisms. So I think he evens out large. Somebody would have to do the math.
Yeah, I think he actually has a slight advantage because Kawa's running on what is it? I think 4-1. Yeah, he's running on 4-1, which is you take 75 off, then you take another 75. No, excuse me, you take a. I forget the exact math. Someone else can do it.
The issue is that the nukes force Gameknight to deal with them unless he gets a marvelous angle.
He's
Oh,
and
he's got a very strong ram.
He's burrowing through. Oh, it's only temporary though, but he's done the damage against the armor.
Would have been much worse than it was.
Oh, that's not good.
Oof, oof.
Oh,
Nuke shot indeed.
that
Takes the
went
first.
very close both ways.
They are a win condition in and of themselves, and they force Gameknight to move in undesirable patterns for him.
I wonder if Gameknight will target the nuke launchers.
At the moment, he's just slowly chipping away at the front armor here.
I imagine he's trying to, at the very least, because like you can't really get through the shields anytime soon, and the nukes are going to be a consistent problem until then.
Yeah, they're not going to run out of ammo too easily.
Oh, there goes one of the launchers. 2. So he's doing some damage against them, but more nukes are coming in as we speak.
Largely bounce off of the opponent, though. That's a
It looks
great
like,
angle, though.
Agree. Kawa got himself in a bad position against Gameknight. But it's only temporary though.
Oof. Kawa, probably showing a little bit of an experience with this ship, is over-rotating and allows Gameknight to get in a hugely advantageous position. No relevant damage, only lost a thruster, but it's still, the gap there is a huge problem.
Gameknight needs to take advantage of the fact that when he over-rotates in one direction, he's probably going to over-rotate in the other direction to compensate, leading to a vicious cycle.
And then more thrusters for Gameknight makes it so that he can take advantage of that.
Looks like Gameknight's getting back into the proper pin position and is whittling away on the shields. Let's see how long they can hold up, of course.
Those nukes have
properly... His frontal armor about to fall off. Nearly didn't fall off.
Yeah, a large part of frontal armor is just falling off completely.
Oof. Fortunately catches the nuke on his thrusters instead.
Oh, look at that. The armor is temporarily blocking the ions.
So
very tense battle. Kawa in a bad position here. That is not looking good.
However, Gameknight ions can be adjusted though, so let's see what he does. Oh, yep, that frontal armor of Kawa is completely gone. Now he's gonna just chip away at the shields until they break, which is about right.
Oh, big shield loss.
He lost the shield. He lost his shield.
Oh,
What it does is
a nuke. Ooh. Oh, it only took one.
The random nuke 2 times.
Random nuke saved the day.
GG
Kawa.
Perfect spot. It threaded the needle.
It did. It definitely did. This was a pretty intense match here.
It's looking like Kawa might have been out to lose for a second until that nuke. All it takes is one. All right, we got the ship Coolgamertag used to defeat me versus Slowking's notorious nuke throwing ultralight.
The combination of point defense and all those heavy shields should do some work against all those rail volleys. In the meantime, without minimal armor, allow
that actually did not do as much damage. Whoa!
just rip through half his point defense systems.
The nukes did not do too much damage, but this positioning Kawa's in right now is not very good and probably very difficult to get out of. Only one well-landed shot would kill Slowking, but because of how maneuverable his ship is, it's seeming like point defense might end this.
Point defense might actually destroy Coolgamertag. He fires off his rails in vain against a Megaroid for whatever reason.
I think he's trying to use knockback to try dislodging himself, but
it's not working. No.
Yeah, this looks like a unique ending, showing the advantage of having so much thrust.
Death by point defense systems.
You can even just turn and show a nuke and probably end it right here because Coolgamertag doesn't have the reverse thrust to get off the asteroid. But I guess neither does really Slowking, so yeah, he doesn't have reverse either. It's a very gentle tickle to death.
A slow and excruciating way to die. Exactly. Fun for the whole family. Just watching your enemy get ripped apart slowly and painfully. Well, one bridge left. Let's see how long it lasts. Yeah, Sarah makes a good point. Thank you, Coolgamertag.
Can he not target the point defense?
Point defense is not targetable at all whatsoever. So we
Did
just
he-
have to wait until it hits the reactor control room and up.
Whatever that's gonna be.
The control room is getting damaged now, so I thought, didn't point defense used to be targetable, or am I tripping?
I don't think so. I don't recall that being the case.
Oh,
I thought I
there it
remember
goes. Finally
defense
win.
walls being a thing. But that hit didn't really do all that much, honestly. Only took out the armor, didn't even take out the nukes on the side.
Alright, so let's see how the first volley of rails do against it. They do pretty well, actually. The shields
Weak
are able to absorb
shields,
points.
but it's looking like things might end the same way.
Oh, they were
Or
caught on shield.
Slowking just shoots himself. Ooh!
Just ripped right through the center of him.
All right. Because he was
just
so close, the point defense couldn't really do much.
Slowking keeping his distance. He doesn't want the same thing to happen like last time. Oh, temporarily caught on a Megaroid.
Even though he doesn't have reverse thrust, he just using the strafing thrust from having all those forward engines.
Oh, ripped right
Ooh,
through
that was
his right
that
side.
took a lot of
Caught
stuff,
in another
but
rip.
not actually too damaging.
Uh-oh, but those nukes might be in a good position to hit the engines.
Oh,
Oh, just barely.
looks like yep.
Oh, wow, what an upset.
That's a way to go out.
Indeed.
So it's kind of an interesting matchup. For the longest time, ions were the close quarters specialist weapon, and deck cannons largely replaced that niche, I would say, because they deal so much more damage at close range. It's kind of interesting, and they're really good at breaking through shields, which will only be boosted by the nuke that I'm sure that James will be using. Great effect.
I'm honestly surprised Luna didn't target the nuke launchers, hoping for a chain reaction off the start.
Or didn't like try and dodge or anything.
Yeah, those left some pretty big holes, but it seems like with the ramming, maybe those holes won't matter.
Strangely to me, Z James chooses to disconnect their armor and isn't really firing back. I think they win in a head-on confrontation, so I'm not sure why they would do that.
If they get around this side, though, this can be... Their guns are taking forever to turn, though, so...
The cannon is very bad at turning, even if they have high damage.
They missed that chance. Luna lacks any, like, proper ramming forks, so it seems hard for them to hold on to one position, which is kind of vital for an Ion.
They had some, but unfortunately were very quickly sheared off by the nukes.
They're kind of getting down to one of the deck cannons, though.
Yes.
Barely didn't take it out.
James is doing a good job using their thrust to try and prevent that from happening positionally, but they are, very clearly taking damage.
Yeah. They're getting cut right in half. They lost at least half their thrusters right there. Almost cut straight in half.
Yeah. Lunastro D knows what's up, is using their ions to aim, and eviscerating the functionality of their opponent by cutting them in half. So they might get flanked now, and then it's all over.
Yeah, that is... Who's out of sync? Luna?
Likely Luna. No. They said their connection was good when they signed up for the tournament, which was a requirement this time. Really having issues. What's up with that?
Well, they cut... those are two halves that could flank, though, so...
There won't be power to the control room on the second one. And the crew have left the deck cannon, so those won't be firing. But this is a very good angle for the remaining half.
There is power in the control room. It's just that there's no crew. They're having crew priority. I think their crew must have got caught off in the explosion or something.
Yeah, I think that Z James is making the accurate move of trying to just win with their remaining half as opposed to fix the other one. They are running out of their pre-stored ammo and now are forced to rely on the actively forged stuff.
It would be very useful for them. Oh, they do have their second half online. It's back online.
Oof, nice.
I don't know why. The crew just walked away from the control room for a bit, which is problematic. But those are two kind of self-sufficient halves. The control room probably has, like 4 minutes on it or something?
If, Z James can get all the cannons to target the shields, I think they can break them. But that time limit is... That window is running out.
2 minutes use all over because they got guns and everything, just not doing everything. Also, note they're manually controlling their. Oh, they gotta watch out. If a deck cannon gets through a hole in the shields because of the ramming and hits those ions, it's over.
I think that the structure that Lunastro D has is very much preventing that. Like, you'd have to break the shields to damage that structure, and that's just not happening. Typically it's a concern, but not here.
You have to get a very... The only place that can happen is a very unique shot on this from a very difficult side angle.
Oh, Lunastro D doing very well with their heavy ion rammer. Multiple prisms. I'm impressed. Tip type I love personally. No, I'm not. It's very cool to see them win.
I love ions. It's always been my favorite. Sadly, they reduced the range to 300 now.
Yeah, that was a buff that was given to them on the basis that they were weak and underperforming, but with the addition of large shields, it was a indirect buff, and they were nerfed accordingly to return to the same power. It is also the case that Z James is relatively low on firepower. I'm pretty sure the deck cannons can win in a straight-up pushing match, but we were not given the chance to witness that this time.
Yeah. That should be just about the end once they get a shot on that control room.
Where it runs out of power. The power doesn't end. It does in different game modes, but not this.
Yeah, and there's also still like 2 minutes left, so.
Yeah, 6 minutes left. Z James not forfeiting despite saying GG, expecting them to lose. So I still think the Blackout despite me saying it and them immediately losing, I still think that their ship, as long as it doesn't lose a module, more than capable of dealing with bomber with warp from RoboBunny.
I happen to agree, but now they're at a they only need to win twice and can't lose.
Yeah.
So they're at a big disadvantage there in terms of winning the whole match.
Have to be very careful to lose any modules.
Can't get unlucky once because they already got. Well, they can't get unlucky twice. They already got unlucky once, and now.
Uh-oh, RoboBunny has
Oof.
lost 2 modules already.
See if they have better fire extinguishers.
It appears they do.
Oh yeah, they have about 8 remaining actually.
The problem is the one of the burning missile factories, you can't walk to it because the corridor was cut off, so it's going to blow up. So they're going to lose another.
That is unfortunate. How many more that takes down? Or if it removes the control room and shuts their ship offline. Or they're not going to move and just take more missiles to the back.
They're busy charging up with their nuke ship. Yeah,
there goes 2 more modules. There's only about 2 more left, really.
Oh, they actually did land good hits. Oh
wow!
I thought that was going to be a miss.
Well, if the fires burn down the rest of the ship, that was definitely a worthy gambit.
But Blackout is about to. I think this is a race to death with fire. Honestly, Blackout's about to lose a reactor.
But RoboBunny's a medium reactor is about to blow. It's on 200 health. And
thing is, RoboBunny can't move
kaboom
because of control room stuff.
Oh, the medium reactor is just start burning at 67 health, but that's about to change in a second. The reactor is perfectly exposed, and both reactors explode. GG Blackout.
I know what.
That was a very interesting round with both people having big losses.